Alright, controversial statement right out of the gate. Back to the Future is a perfect movie. Not one of the best, not my favorite, not it holds up. Perfect. And the reason people argue about the greatest movie ever made is because they're trying to be smart, when the answer has been sitting there since 1985 wearing a life preserver and a puffy vest like a time-traveling golden retriever. And here's the best part. This isn't nostalgia goggles. You can prove it. We can prove it. You can literally measure why it works. Every scene matters. Every joke sets up a payoff. Every character has a function. The plot never stops moving. The emotional beats land. And the ending hits like a freight train of satisfaction. This movie is a Swiss watch built out of teenage panic. So today, we're not just revisiting it. We're weaponizing it. Welcome back to Weaponized Nostalgia. I'm your nostalgia investigator, David, and this is the show where we take the movies that raised us and we break them down with love, context, and the kind of behind-the-scenes details you could not easily get back in the day unless you had a buddy who knew a guy at the video store. Today, Back to the Future, 1985. And I'm telling you right now, this isn't a review. This is proof. Alright, welcome to a recurring segment we're doing on this channel, the perfect movie test. Because yes, we love a classic, but a perfect movie? That's rare. Let's define what perfect movie means. And the rule for perfect is important to this channel because we'll explore other movies that fit this metric of perfect. We are literally creating some channel lore here. What is a community without rules, I ask you? Chaos and bad movies, I tell you. No plot holes, because if you're hunting plot holes in a time travel movie, congratulations, you've reinvented unemployment. I mean perfect as in, and write this checklist down, we'll be using it in other movies. This is the Weaponized Nostalgia Perfect Movie Checklist, TM. Every scene either moves the story forward or deepens character. Everything set up gets paid off. The movie never gets boring. The rules make sense and stay consistent, at least for this movie, but we'll make the timeline split make sense in the Back to the Future 2 analysis video, so it will stay consistent, so stay tuned. It's funny, emotional, and thrilling without switching tone badly. It ends in the most satisfying way possible. That's not opinion, that's craftsmanship. And Back to the Future doesn't just hit those marks, it hits them so hard it makes other movies look like they forgot to do their homework. Here's the first piece of evidence, the opening sequence. Hell, the opening title sequence alone is a masterclass in exposition. The number of things we learn just from the camera panning across some clocks is insane. We learn Doc is obsessed with time, obviously, but also there's a news report in the background that some possible Libyan terrorists claim they stole plutonium from a nuclear plant, and the plant denies it, saying it's merely a clerical error, which is comforting. Sure, nothing to worry about there. Then the camera keeps moving and we realize something else. Doc has been out of the house for a while, or he's so scatterbrained he's basically living in a controlled science explosion. We see the food rotting, the lab chaos, and then, oh look, a case of possible plutonium under his bed, just sitting there like a spare blanket. And right in the middle of all this, we get an establishing shot of Marty's camcorder laying on Doc's bed. That's not random. That's the movie setting up Marty as the audience POV and planning the literal device that's about to record the moment time travel is born. All of that before Marty even properly speaks. That's what perfect looks like, and they make it look easy too. This movie doesn't waste time. It tells story information visually, naturally, and without stopping the pace for a lecture. And then once Marty shows up, it keeps layering. In like 10 minutes, we learn Marty's a lovable screw-up with potential, his family is stuck in failure mode, George is a doormat, Lorraine is a walking regret grenade, Biff is a bully with car keys and immunity somehow, and Doc Brown is a genius with the mental stability of a raccoon near a power outlet. We also learn that Marty can skateboard, which becomes relevant later on, and every one of those details matters later. That's what perfect looks like. Setup, 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 payoff, payoff, payoff. Also, the movie establishes the emotional stakes early. Marty doesn't just want to go on an adventure, he wants out of the life he's stuck in. And then, boom, Doc gets shot, the DeLorean hits 88, and Marty's entire existence turns into a ticking clock. It's basically the script saying, we don't have time for your attention span, we're moving. And from there, this movie never stops moving or accelerating. Back to the Future uses time travel better than almost anything because it does one thing Hollywood refuses to do now. It keeps the rules simple. One timeline, one problem, one consequence. If your parents don't fall in love, you don't exist. That's it. No multiverse, no branching timelines, no, well, actually, there were 46 versions of Marty all along. Just one horrifying concept. Your life depends on your parents having a good first date. That is comedy. That is terror. That is perfect writing. And the movie turns it into a visual countdown with the photo of him and his siblings. That's not just clever. That's the script proving it's smarter than it needs to be. Marty is the perfect protagonist because he's not invincible. No 3-foot thick plot armor. He's competent, but he's still a teenager. He's brave, but only because he's trapped. And he has to be. He's not trying to save the world, he's trying to fix his parents, dodge Biff, not get hit by a car, and not accidentally erase himself like a bad Windows update. Marty isn't a superhero. He's a kid with a skateboard and a rapidly developing stress disorder. And Michael J. Fox sells every second of it. That mix of confidence and panic where the audience goes, he's got it, he don't got it, he's got it again. Just straight up main character energy there. Doc Brown is a character that shouldn't function. He's a mad scientist, he's an exposition machine, he's comic relief, he's emotional grounding. If you write that wrong, it becomes a cartoon. But Christopher Lloyd plays him like he's real. Like this guy has been alone for years, living inside his own brain, and Marty's the first person in forever to show up and go, okay, I accept you, I get you. Their friendship is the soul of the movie. And it's not cheesy, it's not weird, sincere, it's sincere and believable. Like two people who absolutely should not be friends, but somehow they are. Under all the jokes, it's sincere. Same vibe as this channel, honestly. That's why it lasts. Perfect movies don't have to have good moments. They have earned moments. Back to the Future is basically a factory line of setups and payoffs. The skateboard skills matter later. The clock tower story matters later. The density joke matters later. The DeLorean mechanics matter later. George's weakness matters later. Lorraine's confusion matters later. Biff's bullying matters later. Marty's confidence matters later. Every time something happens, it plants a seed, and the movie harvests it like a psycho. Your brain loves the structure because the movie constantly rewards you for paying attention. That's why you can watch it 50 times and it never gets old. Your mind keeps enjoying the machine. Talk about dopamine hits. Biff works because he's not a fantasy villain. He's the guy who ruins your day at a gas station. He's the bully who somehow becomes your boss. He's the dude who's been dangerous since high school and never stopped. He's the one you know who keeps failing upward. And the scary part, Biff doesn't need a master plan. His plan is just be awful until someone stops me. That's why the George Punch moment is iconic. Because it's not about violence, it's about a man choosing, finally, to stop shrinking. But that punch is the entire movie's emotional release, and it lands because the movie earned it. This is the scene that proves perfection isn't an accident. The dance sequence is the whole movie in one moment. Marty's existence is fading. The romance needs to lock in. The bully threat is peaking. The clock is ticking, the music is pumping, the audience is stressed out, and the movie is still funny. That's balance, that's tone control, that's expert level filmmaking and writing. Then Marty hits us with a line that could be the mission statement from nostalgia itself. I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are gonna love it. That line isn't a joke, that's a generational baton pass. That's Gen X telling the world, we were here, this mattered, and it's still going to matter. Now we get to the final proof, because a lot of movies are great until the ending. But the perfect movies stick the landing. The entire third act is a domino chain of tension. Will the lightning strike? Will the wire connect? Will Marty reach 88 miles an hour? Will Doc survive? Will the timeline hold? And it's not fake tension. The movie has earned your investment so hard that your body reacts like it's real. Even though you've seen it, even though you know what happens next, that's perfection. And here's the funniest part. All this chaos is happening because of one very normal human truth. Every catastrophe begins the same way, on some random idle Tuesday. We'll touch on Tuesday theory later on in the series. Just a normal day. Then boom, time travel, identity crisis, lightning choreography, and one teenager getting emotionally traumatized in 4K. And here's why the fact that this movie is perfect is even crazier. It was chaos behind the scenes. They started filming with a different actor as Marty, then replaced him mid-production. Michael J. Fox comes in, absolutely nails it, and somehow the final product feels effortless. Like it was always meant to be this way. That's rare. That's like building a car while it's driving and then winning Daytona. And for people who grew up pre-internet, you didn't know any of this back then. You just knew it worked. And it still does. If you're enjoying this deep dive, hit like and subscribe and ring the bell. Jab those buttons like you're trying to pin the needle at 88 miles an hour. The algorithm will love it, and I appreciate it. Alright, before we wrap up, let's take this to the group therapy room, aka the comments section, because I need answers from the people who get it. If you had the DeLorean for one trip, do you go back to fix something, or do you go forward to see how it all turns out? And be honest, what's the most Back to the Future moment of your childhood? Mall, skateboard, VHS nights? So yeah, Back to the Future is a perfect movie. Not because it's nostalgic, not because it's from our era, not because we grew up with it, because it's built right. It's a story engine with a heart. It respects the audience. It rewards attention. It never wastes time, and it delivers an ending that still hits the same way it did the first time you saw it. This movie didn't just entertain a generation, it defined one. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If there's another movie that shaped your childhood, drop in the comments. I'm building the list. And until next time, weaponize nostalgia. We remember it, so you don't have to.